For those of you who haven't really been keeping up with everything with Mercedes Monet, I have been keeping it up with everything Mercedes Monet while I've been gone. And people are saying now that she's not going to WWE because talks have stopped. And instead they are saying that she's going to AEW. Now, Eric Bischoff feels that Mercedes Monet does nothing for All Elite Wrestling, and he says that AEW is quickly becoming TNA. Now, what I mean by that is he feels like she's not a needle mover. And what he was saying in this article is that aside from someone like CM Punk, that everyone that they have brought in has not been someone that they feel can genuinely impact the business. So he says, I made the comment, I'm going to make it again. AEW is quickly becoming TNA. And I got nearly millions of views of that comment, probably on behalf of the 500,000 responses that everyone buried my comment and me along with it. But this is a perfect example of what I meant. We've seen so many big names come into AEW. Pick one. Let's put CM Punk off to the side. Put any of them other than him, and the net impact on the growth of the business other than selling shirts has been zip and nada. So, to his point, I do think Mercedes does have a very massive fan following, but for her to be that needle mover that All Elite Wrestling needs, a la like a CM Punk, it's not going to happen. And this is my number one right here. So keep in mind, this is my number one, and I'm saying this. And I'm looking at it from a realistic standpoint. She can do a lot for the company as a whole. She can get more eyes on the product. But it's not going to be to the point or the drastic change of like CM Punk, where CM Punk was single-handedly selling, upwards of whatever their average is, usually was adding like 33%. So, for example, the reason why I use that number sporadically is because on average, they do maybe 25 to 4,000 ticket sales. When CM Punk was there, they were pushing 3K plus guaranteed every single time. And they were doing upwards of 5,000, etc., which also garnered them the contract for Collision technically because they utilized the fact that star power of CM Punk being on that show specifically. So, and the viewership obviously was up as well when CM Punk was there. Not by much, but it was still noticeable. Mercedes is a great women's wrestler, but I do think that for her to be centered as the focal point for a company, like Eric Bischoff is saying, I don't think that she has that right now. But she could help a lot with the women's division. They could do a lot. She could do a lot as far as like maybe getting at least an extra segment on there every week for the girls. And now that All Elite Wrestling is slowly starting to cater to their women's wrestling audience again, with the recent signings of Deonna Purrazzo and Mariah May, Jamie Hayter soon to come back with Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Their women's division is starting to cook. Recently, they've been having a bit more time and things like that. And I remember vividly, like a few weeks ago, they had like multiple segments on one show, which was pretty impressive. But obviously, rambling. I do agree with what Bischoff is saying to a degree. But I do think that constructive criticism, I guess the way that everybody took the comment as like offensive. And I'm one of her biggest fans, and I didn't take it offensive. So I don't know. Let me know what y'all think. He said what's deterring for me from believing that she's showing up is because she's teasing it herself, and then reports are coming out about AEW, and she's really trying to throw people for a loop here. But I do believe her landing spot is WWE. Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, man. If you guys remember what happened with Cody Rhodes, it's the same exact thing. We knew Cody was going to show up at the Royal Rumble, or at least I knew. And then they try to throw us off with, well, talks have stopped. Now we don't know where Cody's going. We thought we had him, and the reports were going out that they stopped communications, that that WWE was letting their foot off the gas with Cody, that Cody was no longer scheduled to be going there, and blah blah blah. This is literally the same freaking thing. I think that this is just one of those things where now, if you're Triple H and you understand the game, because that's literally his nickname, that's his bravado, that's what he's known for, right? If you're the game, you know how to play the game and how it's played. Meaning, if I am on the cusp of signing someone massive, why would I tell everyone so that they expect the person to show up every single, I would throw out a rumor so that I get more viewership on my product, but I'm never going to say that the person is officially signed or isn't signed so that when they do eventually show up, it'll catch people off guard. And I'll also throw in other rumors out there like, well, she's not even signing with us anymore. She's going elsewhere. And what that does is it gets people talking, not only about, WWE, but about her herself. And people are now going to be intrigued about where she's going to show up because there's all these reports going around. There's like, well, she's posting on her story, like Reggie said about WWE. She's posting pictures with Triple H in the background in her story in her wrestling ring. There's these reports about AEW, which Mercedes herself has not publicly displayed anything about that on her social media. So again, these are all just reports that are trying to make you, who's on the left lane, the correct lane, WWE bound, make you think that she is AEW bound. And again, I could be completely wrong, but until we see Mercedes pop up on AEW, my brain is telling me she's WWE bound, and we will see her at the Royal Rumble. And I stand by that.